Hey guys, welcome to the Tire Series 7. I'm reviewing this, which is the Spider-Man No Way Home Mystery Web Gear Intergrated Suit Spider-Man action figure. So really cool, really blessed. Pick this up, Dave. But yeah, this is really neat. This is from the new movie, and we got a nice quick view of him in packaging there. We have Marvel Studios Spider-Man there. We got Mystery Web Gear. We got some really cool artwork of the suit up there. And then on this side, it says Mystery Gear, but you can see it right there. So that's a little strange. But on the back, we have a bio for it. Spider integration suit, or integrated as a lot of people are calling it. And then, yeah, it looks pretty neat. And before I go any further, I do want to say that my YouTube's kind of messing up at the moment. It's showing me comments, and it's letting me read comments in my notifications, but when I click on them, it won't let me see the comments. So it's kind of weird, and I apologize. I'm not trying to ignore people, just for some reason, it's not showing me all of my stuff. But yeah. And then, like, in a couple days, I go back and re-click it, and it shows it to me just fine. So if I haven't replied to anyone yet, it's not out of rudeness, it's just acting weird. But, yeah, let's open this up. And then also, too, here's the UPC, just in case you guys need to see that. And here we have the new Spidey suit, and it just looks so cool. I mean, it's been so long since they've done an MCU Spider-Man action figure, and the basic type scale, I think it was 2019 Far From Home, and it's just so cool to see it back. I love the molding on the web and the suit, the molding on the helmet there. It just looks so cool. I always liked how they did that, and then the eyes looks pretty neat too. I like how they did those as well. And I think this is a new head. I don't think they've reused any parts here, but we have the gold Iron Spider type symbol. This is supposed to be a combination, I believe, of the Iron Spider suit and the black and red suit. But either way, it looks really cool. I love the way it goes around, and it looks neat too. And I also like seeing it in gold. I know a lot of people have been complaining about that, but I think it's cool. Kind of pays back to the classic Iron Spider as well. And then we have the gold web shooters, which just look so cool. I mean, look at the design they did there. I really like the gold web shooters. Like, they're so massive and neat looking, and he also has these lines kind of like cut into the suit itself, which look pretty cool. I like how they did that, the molding detail there. And then you can see more lines all the way down, and then you have the red boots, which are pretty cool. And yeah, that's pretty much it, but it does have a lot of nice molded detail and painted detail. Now, in terms of articulation, it is pretty similar to what we've gotten in a lot of the past movie waves. We got a 360 at the head. We can look up and down. We got 360 the arms, swing out the shoulder. We have bendability at the elbows, but I'll be honest with you, it is super stiff on these. It takes a good minute to get them loose. And, you know, if you're buying these for your kids, you might want to try to get them loose yourself before handing it to the kids. Because I feel like, you know, if a lot of pressure was applied here, these things would snap off. Because you kind of have to snap the plastic a little bit to get them to move. But if you do it too much, it's going to break the joint. They also rotate 360, and the legs kick forwards and backwards. Now, it doesn't have any knee articulation or articulation at the thighs, which is a little weird considering that a lot of the basic figures for the Avengers video game and the Mech Strike series did have that. But, you know, they've kind of went back to the classic style of the MCU-based basic figures. But either way, that's not too bad. And just look how cool he looks. I gotta say, I love the way the light is hitting the black and gold here. I mean, this suit just looks awesome. I can't wait to see it in the film. Now, the accessories might have spoilers here, so I recommend stop watching if you don't want to see them. But this is the first accessory that you get, and I really like this one because it's kind of like fits onto his arm like he's shooting a web. And I just think the way the web looks, I think it looks pretty cool. But it's gold, and I'm curious if he's going to actually have like gold webbing in the film. That'll be interesting. But it really looks a lot like Doctor Strange's magical abilities, like especially like on the insides of these webs here, they kind of look like ruins. So that's what I was talking about, kind of being a web, kind of a little bit of a spoiler. Almost implying that he's going to use like Doctor Strange magic with this suit. But yeah, it looks really cool, and it clips onto either of his hands. It fits better on this hand, but probably would make more sense for this one because it looks like he's actually shooting out a web. But yeah, it's really neat. And then the mystery armor that you get with this is this little chest piece. And I'm going to be honest, this, in my opinion, isn't super necessary. I don't think this is going to be a part of the film. But it is sculpted pretty well, and it does, again, look like Doctor Strange's ruins on there, and then you have a little spider symbol on the front. I've seen some people put this on his back like this, but quite frankly, I feel like it looks better and is more than likely supposed to go like this on the chest. It's very similar to that kind of accessories that we see in the Spin Masters Batman toy line. I feel like this mystery gear is kind of competing with that a little bit, but at the same time, you know, also being a little bit different, and it looks cool. Probably not something I'm going to use on him that much, but it is still a really cool accessory, and it is neat that they're giving us 2 accessories with these series now, because a lot of times with these basic figures, they really just like to do 1 accessory, so I think that's kind of interesting. So here we have a comparison with the Spider-Man Homecoming tech suit figure from the first wave that came out how many years ago? About 4 years ago, maybe 5. I remember when I reviewed that on my channel for the first time, I was so excited to get it, and I'm still just as excited for this new one. And as you can see, it looks pretty cool. The old one is a little bit taller, and he's a little bit thinner too. But for the most part, it looks pretty neat. And I will say, with that, the plastic kind of feels like plasticky on this one. Kind of feels cheap. Thoroughly cheap, but it feels like the price point, whereas the plastic on this one definitely feels a lot stronger. Like, this is a heavier figure, like not by much, but this one feels a little bit heavier compared to the old one, so that's kind of interesting. Here's a comparison with the Far From Home basic figure, and they are re-releasing this figure, but it is going to be new because the suit in the movie is actually changing a little bit, like the belt gets filled in. This one's still accurate to Far From Home. I think aside from the spider symbol, it's still accurate to Far From Home, but the new one is going to be accurate to the new movie, but it's still basically black and red, and as you can see, like it's also a little bit bigger than the previous Spider-Man, or the new one, my bad. Here's a comparison with the Iron Man and Captain America from Endgame. And here's a comparison with the Infinity War Hero Vision's Doctor Strange. And as you can see, the new one is a little bit smaller than a lot of the previous characters, but overall still looks pretty cool. And yeah, I think this is really neat. I think they did a good job with this, and also too, this is what Doctor Strange looks like with the web effect, and honestly, it looks so good in him, like you can't even really see, like the webs don't really start till this end one here. It almost actually looks like, again, he's using his magic abilities. So if you want to use this with the old Doctor Strange, or even the new one, because I think there is going to be a new one in this series, it looks really good with him. And yeah, overall I think this is really cool. Thank you for watching, please rate, like, and subscribe.